So the key is back. I went through my, remember what it was. It was the P0335, which I'm pretty sure I labeled the video 36. But anyways, it's a 35. That's what it was. This was one of those part store says replace this part. I did it. They left. It was good for a couple days, and then it went out again, and now it's making the P0336. And the RPM needle goes to 0. So we're gonna scan it. There's actually nothing on there right now, and it's running great. So get down here in the OBD2 port, hidden underneath here. We'll plug in and we'll see what the scanner says. We'll just do a generic check right now. Wow. What do we got? 336, that's a circuit code, so it's obviously not the crankshaft. So, it could be confused, and that could be confused with the camshaft sensors. So let's go through and let's do a full system scan. Shut up. Automatic, read the VIN number. Reading the VIN, correct VIN. We're in the USA. It's a 2013, correct. Noses. Scan everything. Alright, finally all done. We only got one issue, which is shocking. Usually when that needle starts failing, you'll see an instrument cluster fail up here on the autel. And that's just showing the same one. Alright. Where's the freeze frame? There is no freeze frame. Okay. Well, let's just get underneath the hood and let's go pull some camshaft sensors and check that out, since I know for a fact that the crankshaft is brand new. Before I do away with everything, I'm going to go ahead and run a test on the sensors itself. Start it up real quick, select the test. Okay. Good. Everything is good. Yeah, electrical problem here. Alright, under the hood here. Take off this cover. Let's come down right here. Let me show you that real quick. This is your intake cam sensor right there. I'm assuming it's a 10mm. Yeah, right there, 10mm bolt with the connector. And then if you come back here, which I am not going to touch right now because this car is smoking hot, right there is your exhaust side of your camshaft positioning sensor. And this is the cool car that had the zip ties all over the crankshaft positioning sensor. So I just put more zip ties over it because they don't sell the little pin mechanism. I'm trying to see if there's anywhere else on any other connector to lock the two together. They don't sell just that, at least I can find. You have to replace the entire wiring harness just for that. And I mean, unless you want to be that person, buy it, take that pin and send it back, but that's up to you, and I just don't like doing that, so I did what the original person did when zip tied it. Alright, so for this next, alright, so we're gonna need to let's take off for the sensor. Now it has 3 wires. It's got a orange and blue, green, and then red. I mean, just spitballing here, and green's probably your ground, red's probably the constant, and the orange is the signal wire. But we need to know how it's going onto that sensor, so we got to make sure. You're going to need a voltage meter. Try to prop you up here so you can see this too. Works for me. All right, so again, this is a shot in the dark. I'm not paying for a wiring diagram, so we'll go ahead and we'll try it. We'll go black in the center, which is green on the wiring harness, and then we'll poke the very right hole, which is the red, a constant. We should see 12.5 volts, which we got 12.2. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and do the orange wire. We should 5 or around 5. 4.78. There we go. So now we know that when this wiring harness is plugged into the sensor, we will just have to make sure we think of the sensor far left. The center is the ground, the right is the hot, and the left is the signal. I'm gonna go ahead and get some tools. We're gonna go ahead and pull that sensor out and we're gonna test it. I'll show you how to test that here in a second. It's a really easy procedure, just annoying to get to. All right, to save some video, some time, I tried a bunch of different other ways to get to it. There's a bracket right there. I don't feel like taking the bracket off to get to it, so I got one of these 10mm, one of these angled ones, which fits right down in there around the sensor, and you can turn it. So I'm gonna spin that out and I'll get back to you. I don't wanna waste your time. Once you unlock it, you can pretty much do the rest by your hand. It's a lot easier with the car cooled down. So just, if you're not waiting like me, you don't have the time, just be careful what you touch. Damn, I can't. All right, take this, just wiggle it out. All right, there it is. Let me get it cleaned off. Okay, so it's kind of hard to test, but you back probe the 2 wires I showed you earlier. We got the sensor plugged in. Showing the 5-volt reference. We're going to take a large metal object because it's a magnet. Put it up there. It should go to 0. This one's actually not going to 0, which is not good. Goes back to 5 volt. So it's 20. Back to 20. Just wanted to update what's going on with the Kia. I know this video's got a lot of cuts and different things, but to finish it all out, so after testing the camshaft positioning sensors, although I got a crappy multimeter, they were working fine. The numbers did drop, should have went to 0 or whatever it should have been. But again, it's just a bad multimeter. I didn't pay a lot for it. You get what you pay for. So took the car, went to a tech, and they said that you cannot use aftermarket sensors on this car. Has to be from the factory. I was like, all right, that sounded stupid. Contacted Kia. They said the same thing. It's something in the programming where you actually need a Kia. So instead of spending like $12 on a sensor through like AutoZone, you have to buy an actual one from Kia, which was significantly more. I think 137. That's what you want to look for. And we'll go ahead and get this installed. I'm not going to go through the install process just because I already have a video on that, but it's just as simple as reaching your hand back there, taking off that cover, following it down, and then putting that back on, and then running the wire back up here, and in this case, add a couple more zip ties, and bloop, be done with it. So, like I said, that's where I'm at in this video. So yeah, that's something I learned. Hopefully you guys don't make the mistake in replacing that sensor thinking it's going to work. And I will leave an update down in the description if it actually fixed the problem or not.